especially with marbling, like if you're doing like a marble design, adding a little bit of transfer foil. Beautiful accent.
Hello, hi, hello, hi, how are you? I hope you're having a fabulous day so far. Welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, thank you for joining us. Today's video, I am going to help you build your nail art collection on a budget. If you watch YouTube regularly, especially nail YouTube, then you see massive nail art collections. All the colors, all the glitters, all the cool little flowers and faux femos, is that what they're called? And rhinestones and crystals and different kinds of brushes and different kinds of paints and different stamping products and all kinds of different things. And they all look so great, and they are great. But do you need them all right away? No. And I'm gonna help you determine what you should spend your money on, what you might wanna wait on, and how to kind of essentially have a larger collection without having to have more things. Maybe you don't have enough space, you don't want to have more things, or maybe you just don't have the budget to be buying new color collections and new glitter collections and the newest brushes and the newest art inks all the time. I don't. So that's what we're doing today. Before we start, please don't forget, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. And of course, you can always subscribe if you like this kind of stuff. Nail collections, nail myths, nail history, nail art, nail things. Okay, so most of the products and items that I'm going to be talking to you about today are mostly gel products and things that would work with gel products because that's what I use on my clients. But keep in mind, this works for any kind of product, whether it's just regular old lacquer and nail art done with that, if it's gel polish, if it's an acrylic, all of these tips kind of work for all the different products, but my focus is gel. So if I'm not mentioning acrylic or polish or things like that, that's why. But just know you can integrate this into any sort of system. First things first, you need a white and a black paint. I prefer a gel paint because they are highly pigmented and I can use them as a full color nail. One coat, so my time is faster. The nail is not as bulky. Also, it doubles for art. So I can do, lines and dots and any kind of art I want to do with the gel paints. I can also shear them out a little bit by putting a clear top coat or a builder gel, mix a builder gel, depending on the consistency I actually want, but I can shear out those colors if I want by putting something clear in with it. And I can add alcohol, not in the actual pot, but put it on a palette, add a little bit of alcohol, and it will actually thin out the product as well. If you want even finer lines and even finer details, you can do that. But white and black, you don't have to go for any colors or anything just yet. White and black, you can do so much different art with just white and black. And these are two items that I would splurge a little bit on. I like gel paint, but whatever you prefer. If a gel paint is not really the direction you want to go in, or they're a little bit pricey for you, go to the dollar store and get yourself some acrylic paint, black and white. And I would say a gold and a silver. Those are the major sort of paints you would need, and that's where I would spend my money first. Either the gel paints, again, silver and gold are good choices too in gel paints, so black, white, gold, silver. But like I said, acrylic paints also work great. Now, I wouldn't recommend using acrylic paints for a full color nail. They just don't wear as well, especially around the tips. And that is something else to keep in mind. What kind of artwork are you going to be doing? If this is going to be mainly around the free edge, then I wouldn't necessarily recommend the acrylic paint simply because it doesn't wear well at the free edge. But they're inexpensive to start with. So I would start with your acrylic paint and then move up to your gel paint. But those four colors, maybe a red. I would throw a red in there eventually as well. Next thing, pigments. You can get them from all over the place. They don't have to be from a nail supplier. Some of the ones from nail suppliers and nail brands are rather expensive. Check out candle making supplies, soap making supplies, and like DIY makeup kind of stuff where you can find micas. You're going to want to try to make sure that they're ethically sourced if you can, micas. And you can get all sorts of pigments from these places that are cosmetic and safe to use on your nails. I will link some below that I really like that I've used for soap making and then in turn nails, and they crossed over really well. I've had no problems. Those pigments, you can get sample sizes. They come in like little tiny Ziploc bags usually, and you could get sample sizes and they're like $1 a piece. Sometimes you can get them in the collection of colors for like 15 bucks or something. You can keep them in the little baggies if you wish, or you can get the little tiny pots off of Amazon. I have a little container from Michael's. I think it's meant for like beads, but I put my pigments in it. You can get shimmery ones, matte ones, neons, all the same stuff that you would be able to get from a nail brand, but a little bit less expensive. So that's the first tip. It's check out other crafting places for your pigment. The main reason that I love pigments so much, especially when you have a small collection, is they are inexpensive and they can be worked into any medium. You can work it into your hard gels, into your gel top coats, into your clear acrylics. You can basically make your own polishes or your own colors in whatever medium you want just by mixing your clear with the pigments. You can make them as saturated and pigmented as you wanted or as sheer as you want. Keep in mind, if you're using gel, the more pigment you put in, the longer you need to cure and the thinner you need to go. Otherwise it doesn't cure. So that's just something to keep in mind, especially darker colors. So if you're mixing in like a nice deep navy blue or something and you want it really saturated and pigmented, put it on really, really thin and just do 2 coats, as opposed to trying to get it as saturated as you want in 1 coat, because it won't cure. I've done this and made the mistake. You can mix these pigments in with any medium you want. You can also then make colors within the colors and mix and match your pigments to make other colors. What else can we do with pigments? We can tap them on top of a sticky layer. So your dispersion layer, don't wipe that off. You can tap your pigments right into that and make really cool designs that way. Really great, almost tortoise shell designs you can do that way. You can do gradients really well that way, just by tapping the pigment on with a nice fluffy brush. You can also mix them into anything clear if you want to use them for art. Mix it in with a clear that's a little bit more fluid, and you can do art with it. And another big reason why pigments are fantastic, on top of all these reasons, if you are into stamping or have just started stamping and you're trying to build your stamping polish collection, I would suggest going with Clear Jelly Stamper sticky polishes. They have a black and a white sticky polish. You can use them just as a black or a white if you want, but they also have a bit of a tacky layer before they're fully dried. So you can do your stamping with your black or your white. Take whatever color you want of your pigments and stamp that on top of the tacky part, and now you have a brand new color for stamping. It's not necessarily as pigmented and as perfect if you were to use an actual like that color stamping polish, but it gets the job done. It's not costing you any more money. Speaking of Clear Jelly Stamper, what plates should you spend your money on for stamping? I am still quite a beginner with stamping. I don't have a lot of plates. I don't have a lot of colors. I am kind of just mixing and matching and doing what I can with what I can. But I would definitely recommend the plaid plate from Clear Jelly Stamper. I use that all the time. You can do your lines, you can make plaids, you can do stripes. It just makes it a little bit easier. And then anything with like swirls or lace or anything that's just sort of all seasons, you can use for any design. Nothing too niche or specific, and stick with the roses and flowers and lace and swirls, glitters. If you're only going to get 1 glitter, I would suggest an iridescent chunky glitter that you can, again, you can mix with any medium, you can put over any color. It's going to add sparkle, alter the color a tiny bit based on how the light hits it, but not to the point that it's a completely different color. You can make any color you have into a glitter by adding iridescent glitter on top of it. Now keep in mind, iridescent glitters do come with different shifts. So sometimes it's like a purple blue, sometimes it's like a pink green, sometimes there's like a weird yellow in it, and that can make nails look not so nice. I would recommend for the most part like a pink blue shift if you can, but by adding the iridescent glitter, you can make any color sparkle. The next glitter I would recommend is a hollow glitter. I would recommend like a mix, like a chunky mix hollow glitter. If you saw my TikTok of the one I spilt all over the floor, that's a great one. That's an excellent one. It's from Glitter Bells. I highly recommend that one. An iridescent and a hollow glitter, and you can do so much. So much. I would definitely start with your glitters. I would definitely start with more neutral glitters and less bright neon crazy mix type thing. I would start with more neutral simple glitters. So your iridescent first, hollow second, silver and gold, rose gold. Black glitter, don't spend your money on. It looks weird once you top coat it. It looks weird. If you're gonna do a black, maybe try like a slate gray or something, or add some of the iridescent or hollow glitters into the black glitter to get a mixture so that you actually get sparkle, because otherwise black just looks like spots on the nail. So don't waste your money on black glitter unless there's a specific look you're going for. So if you're looking to get into some transfer foils, again, those are relatively inexpensive depending on where you're ordering them from. You can get one little roll. They're usually like $2, $2 to $4. You can get them in like containers of 8, 10. Come in a container, and they vary from like 11 to like $20 depending on where you get it and what is on them. But to start, I would recommend gold, silver, and maybe a rose gold and a copper. Those are excellent to use for accents in your art, especially with marbling. Like if you're doing like a marble design, adding a little bit of transfer foil, beautiful accent. They work great for like outlining things and just small little details like that. They look excellent. And again, you could do a full cover nail if you want with it. I am not the greatest with transfer foils, and I cannot get them to transfer perfectly onto a nail like full color, full coverage, but you can do it. But I would recommend gold, silver, rose gold, copper, bronze type, those sort of things before you go getting into like the design ones, like flowers and butterflies and fruits and that sort of stuff. While they all seem very exciting and like you can do so much with them, chances are you're not going to use them as often as you think. Coming from personal experience, you're not going to use them as often as you think you're going to. Art inks, you know, those like really cool fluid inks, put it on the nail and they kind of like make cool marbles, and you can use the liquid to make it move around and disperse it and that sort of stuff. Those are really expensive from nail suppliers, like $20 a bottle type thing. I like to use Sharpies. 2 ways. You can either color directly onto the nail and then use rubbing alcohol to dilute it and sort of move it how you want it and get that sort of watercolory, inky sort of look. Or you can color onto a piece of plastic or onto like a resin palette type thing. You can color onto that, add your alcohol into that, and now you've basically created a thin ink. And you can go ahead and paint it on the nail however you want, let it dry, use your alcohol to blend it and move it. And a pack of Sharpies is going to be less expensive than 1 art ink. Something to keep in mind, black Sharpie turns blue when you do this. It turns into a dark, muddy blue. So if you're looking for a warmer tone, I would suggest a dark brown. That's it. Now, the downside using the Sharpies is you have to do it on a light color, which you would kind of have to do with any art ink to get the color to show properly, but gotta do it on a light color. There is also no white Sharpie, and there are white art inks. And I do feel like blending the white one does make a huge difference in the final look of the design. So if you're gonna splurge on an art ink, might I suggest a white? And they don't even have to be name brand Sharpies. They can be knockoff Sharpies. As long as they're not wash off, like washable, as long as they're permanent markers, you're good to go. I'm gonna talk quickly about embellishments and crystals. Never spend a lot on your embellishments. You can top coat, not crystals, embellishments and rhinestones. You can top coat them. So just get them from the least expensive supplier, even Amazon. And you can get those little containers. I don't necessarily like supporting Amazon. Also, you don't need embellishments. Yes, they're awesome and they do add to a nail design depending on what the design is, but it's not needed. I have a lot of embellishments and I rarely use them. Over lockdown, I started creating designs to use my embellishments. Crystals. If you're just messing around on your own hands and you're just practicing, don't get expensive crystals. Don't get Swarovski. If you're just messing around and experimenting, just get plastic ones so you can practice your placement and your clusters and whatever it is you want to work on. If this is actually to wear, whether it's for you or clients, you're going to want to splurge on crystals. It makes a huge difference. They don't get scratched up and like go dull as easy. They keep their shine, they keep their shape, which is a big thing. A lot of other like plasticky crystals don't keep their shape and they end up kind of rounding and then you lose all the shine anyway. So you're going to want to spend your money on crystals. But again, you don't need crystals to do an amazing nail design. Replace the crystals with glitter. You're still gonna get shine. It's not gonna be the exact same, but you're still gonna get shine. Top coats. You don't need a million top coats. You need a nice, juicy, glossy one that is going to seal everything in, make everything look beautiful, and a matte top coat. I almost use my matte top coat more than I use my glossy top coat because I use it before I do any art. I use it before I do any stamping to make sure the underneath is sealed in. So if I make a mistake, I can wipe it off really easy. And because most art just flows better, sticks better, works better on top of a matte surface. Then of course, there's obviously just matte top coating the design in general, but you don't need all the top coats. Really, you need one. You need one top coat to seal everything in. So if it's glossy or matte, your choice. If you're getting one, that whatever you want. But honestly, top coat is where I would spend a little bit more money. Get both and get ones that have good reviews and you know are going to last however long you need them to last. Whether it's just on yourself, just on your clients, if you're just messing around on tips, don't go spending a lot of money then. Just get the cheapest ones if nobody's wearing it. But if it's meant to be worn, you don't want to skimp out on top coat too much, but you don't need thousands of top coats. And finally, on the list, shop seasonally or post-seasonally, depending on what you're doing. Either shop for new things like cusp of a season. So if you're shopping for, let's say, fall items, you're going to start looking for that in like end of August, September time. You're also going to see it on social media. Everything's going to start showing you the fall products. And that's when you can purchase fall colors, fall stamping plates, maybe add some fall type glitters that look like kind of like falling leaves, or some shape glitters like actual leaves. Especially if you're working on clients, that's where you're going to want to start to grow your collection, is seasonally, because most clients are going to come in and want seasonal nails. If buying brand new released type products, they can be a little bit more expensive and also sell out quickly, so you might not be able to get them. Try shopping post-seasonally. This works out really well if you already have, say, let's use fall again. You already have a few fall colors and you have one fall stamping plate and some glitters. So you can do sets, you can do nails fall related, no problem. At the end of that season, so at the end of fall, say once the winter Christmassy stuff starts coming out, the fall stuff is going to be put on sale. So you can get maybe another stamping plate, maybe a few more stamping polishes, maybe another glitter or two, or a polish or something. You can get those possibly on sale because fall is over, winter's coming, and they got to make space. Does that always work? No, because some suppliers just have a lot of space and they don't have to make room, if you will. But it's worth a shot. Also, kind of in the same realm, get discontinued products. If it's a stamping plate that you like and it's discontinued and it's half the price, the downside, that doesn't necessarily work for products that you use all the time and have to replace all the time, because if you purchase something that's discontinued, you can't get it again. But it's excellent for random colors, random stamping plates, glitters, decals, foils, those sort of things. Getting things that are discontinued and really inexpensive like that, excellent. Oh, speaking of the shopping seasonally, that works really well if you have clients as well. If you order your seasonal products a little bit before that season just hits, and then you can post about it and your clients can see it. They get all excited. They want to use all your new products. And I have found I end up with more appointments and more clients when I have new products. So that is something to keep in mind. You might be spending a chunk for this collection of colors or whatever it is that you're getting for the season, but you're going to make that back tenfold because of the clients, because they see it and it's new and it's seasonal and that's what they want on their hands right now. I usually make it back in like a day. All right, my little sweet potatoes. That's everything on my list right now. I'm sure I could think of more. So if you like this video and if it helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see another one, and I will start putting together another list of how to build your collection on a budget. Let me know your favorite things to purchase on a budget. It doesn't even have to be nail related. It could be anything. Give me your budget tips, your saving money tips when it comes to purchasing things you love. Let me know. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Can I just show you? I just want to show you quickly. This Looks like such a cute little top, a little mustard top. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Wait, it's a onesie. Onesie? A unitard? What is it? Look at this. I look ridiculous. The top fits amazing. The bottoms,